Get ready for these comments. Some feathers about to be ruffled today.
Salud, brother.
Salud. All right, let's get into it. Today, this video, a lot of you have been waiting for. I think the industry as a whole will be able to appreciate this in one way or another. And a lot of people are gonna dislike it. This is the honest truth. Everybody has an idea of what's going on in the industry, what's happening in the industry. We know every industry has the consumer side of things, and then every industry has a professional side of things. We've been on both sides, and it's interesting the perspectives that we get laid upon ourselves based off of other people's doings. You know, for instance, the whole affiliate thing. We're transparent with everything. If we're sponsored, we're going to tell you. If we're not, we're not. If we feel like there's a decision that we can make that's going to be a good business decision and it's going to fit, we may take advantage of it. If not, there's many reasons why we don't. And but the perception always is from people is that everybody's out trying to chase a dollar. And I
don't think that's the perception. That's what it is. There is no perception about it. People understand that people are out there trying to get money, but I think where it gets cloudy at is that's the only thing. That's their tunnel vision is they're doing whatever they can to get that dollar, not thinking about other things to put into all rolling that.
And of course, our comments tend to get a little wild, just like most guys that have a channel. Or just an opinion for that matter. So the industry is led by one thing. And I think we can all agree that it's led by the consumer.
Yes.
The industry only does what the consumer allows. And this is clear across the board everywhere. If something is not producing money, capital, for the business, whatever the business is and whatever industry it is, you know what happens? A halt. This isn't working. We're losing money. It's costing us money. It's costing us time. It's costing us resources. That's how people go out of business. When you do what the consumer wants, you're going to make money because you're giving them what they want. So when it comes to all this talk of, oh, you guys are getting paid to do this. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, there's too many videos of that. Oh, this is all the same. Oh, they're lying. Oh, this. Guess what? You have the power to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
Just don't play into that shit.
I think before all that, the industry is at this level now. Like this is the new talk now. So like as far as a new mainstream industry, now it's at the point now that this is where we're at. So I think this is great for the industry.
Oh, yes. Like it's getting a big fucking wake-up call.
Because we said it before in the video, like picture where you were at 7 years ago and what was out there. What was at your fingertips. Mm-hmm. To compare till now. Mm-hmm. Like the transition of DIY to doing it yourself to making a profitable business is far more closer than people think. I mean, people, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Like the industry, as it evolves, things like this are going to happen.
Yeah. And I think it's great. So good for the industry that we're here now at this point. Like look at chemicals.
Yeah. And if I could put this into an analogy, think of like Silicon Valley in the 80s. You know, they were all working for a certain company. Everybody was working for a certain company. Like there was only maybe 2 computer companies, IBM, Apple, Compaq, well, whatever they were. They said, yo, like, why are we building for them? You know, some of the software engineers, some of the guys, they're like, why don't we just build our own thing? And that's where these other brands came from. And I think the consumer doesn't understand that. Like, who else is going to come in? Yes, there's chemical companies stepping in to do this. For instance, Nyosol, that's how you pronounce it. Built Hamber, you know, the companies that are strictly chemical companies with no expertise in detailing, and now they're going off into that realm. But on the other side, there's people that were detailers that are now jumping into the industry too. So there's a lot of growth going on in the industry. There's a lot of kind of questions out there, but I think for the most part, what this video we're trying to get across is, if there's something you don't like, you just don't gotta simply buy it. You know, there's no reason to dog anybody out or to say this or that or contest it. Yo, we all got our opinions. Try it out, test it out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's part of freedom. You could choose what you want to spend your time and your money, all that on. With the industry going through this big transition, it leaves the consumer thinking, okay, what's really happening here? They're looking at, now they're starting to look at their favorite YouTube person or their favorite detailer or their favorite chemical company doing something that maybe they don't like. You agree with that?
Yes.
So maybe they're feeling a little betrayed, but this is an industry. In the industry, there's growth. You may not agree with the growth.
I'm still appreciating the fact that we're here.
Yeah.
It's great because we hear all the time about people and what can we do to make the industry better. And you hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I could definitely tell you how you make the industry better.
Yeah.
What's not happening? There, people are trying like to make the industry better. You gotta be able to take criticism. And I think people are playing it nice too much. Yeah. Like, oh, this stuff is good. Yeah, everything's fine. Everything looks good. Like, it's okay to say, hey,
that
needs some work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I want to mess with that. Mm-hmm. Like, and there needs to be more of that.
Yeah. No, everybody always says the same shit. And that's kind of one of the reasons why we never got into certain types of categories in our videos. Like we never wanted to do the testing route because you're walking a fine line. Like you don't, and we've seen so many people. How many people have we seen get mad about? And I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot. I'm just saying, people don't always realize all the fucking work that goes into whatever it is that you're doing. No matter if people think it's shit or if they think it's amazing. Nobody knows the amount of work that goes behind that. Let's say, for instance, Jimbo. Nobody knows all the work that Jimbo put on his own to get his own brand launched. Right?
Right.
Like nobody knows. It could have took him a long time, a whole bunch of planning. Either way, it's work. It takes work and there's risk involved. I'm just using Jimbo's as an example. I'm not saying whatever. When the product is released and people don't like it, that's just criticism. That's part of it. Mm-hmm. That's part of it. Look at the people that got dogged out last year. They did, who was it, the Cerakote with their coating? Where they had they picked the influencers to do it and it kind of backfired, I believe. I want to say they had like Pan do it. They had Eddie do it. They had a few people do it and it was just shit. And they were all talking about, I never really got deep in, but I remember they were talking about it for a hot minute. And I think they went back to the drawing board and they said, okay, well, they didn't work. This is what we got to do. Like that's leaving yourself open for the criticism, open for the growth to make the industry better. Right. To people calling you out saying, hey, this ain't it. Okay, cool. How many times in our videos did we have people, we got on new mics because we were getting criticized about the audio.
Yes, sir, we got some new mics going on right here.
You know what I mean? We're taking the criticism not as insult. You got to take it as, yo, someone got your back and someone's trying to tell you, hey, get this right. I want to see you guys do good. We try to do that wherever we're at with whoever in any facet of the industry. Because we get guys that are complaining about the products that are out there or complaining about the price of things or complaining that any complaint you could think of. And we come with an objective standpoint so they're able to understand, hey, okay, maybe I'm thinking this all wrong. Or maybe I'm getting upset over something that doesn't need to be wasted energy on. So I think when you gain full perspective, it changes your ideas about what's happening and who's who. Because how quick do people go, oh, I thought they were cool. I thought, oh, I'm not. Like, we went to the Coach Kemi training and now we got people saying, oh, you must be getting paid for this, or Coach Kemi wants you guys to do this or that. No, that ain't even what it's about. That's not what it's about. It's about us supporting things that we feel are taking the industry into the right place. People that have, done something where we're standing out and noticing. This is the direction we want to see the industry going. And I think specifically with Coach Kemi, we were late to the party on a lot of fronts.
Yeah, we were.
We were late to the party on a lot of fronts with them. Yeah. And was that a mistake by us? Yes. Maybe a little bit of it was brand loyalty or ego or whatever, but we're going to do whatever we can to make things easier on us overall.
Well, late to the party because in the fact that we had our system down. Mm-hmm. We don't want to disrupt our system, so we're not jumping around testing 20 million things. Like we know what works, and we're not looking to a YouTube channel or to see how stuff works. We've done that. We've done that in the past. We're listening to people out there doing this. Like we get a call and say, "Hey, quit wasting your time. Yeah. You need to try this."
Yeah, and that they're literally critiquing our process, and to us, critiquing our process is more important than you critiquing anything else about us. Period.
Yeah, you guys are doing that. No.
Yeah,
what are you guys doing?
Yeah, because we're usually the one critiquing process. So when someone tells us, "Hey, really give this a shot or really do this," there's a few things that we got our eyes on. As far as us doing it for any ulterior motives, no one's paying us to go over there to do this. This is something that we've committed to doing more trainings, and ever since we realized the importance of trainings, we said, okay, this needs to be a primary objective that we take care of every year. And every year we've gone to more and more trainings, and we've gone to better trainings, and we've gone further for trainings. We've put out more effort and resources and money for trainings probably than anything else in this business. And I think it's paying off in a major way, and it's going to continue to pay off because you're constantly learning and constantly growing. But through that growth process, there's critique. And critique is very important to be able to take. Critique is the truth usually, because it's usually coming from a standpoint that has no dog in the fight. That, hey, this is this. But when we know the difference between a critique and hate. There's clear difference there. One's coming from a completely different place. The critiques are coming to try to help you. We know if somebody's on there, trolling or whatever, or you're getting complaints about things that are just kind of unnecessary. Now that's kind of going into the hate category. But I just think the transparency in the industry, it's like there's a few basics out there that I think everybody should kind of know. And I think a lot of it is driven by the consumer. Again, I'm gonna throw it back at the consumer, back at the viewer, back at the person that are making the decisions that control the way that the industry, I should say, goes. Like they're gonna do what's in demand. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's all we want to stop having shitty fast food in our country. Stop buying it.
Hey, I seen one the other day where a guy was complaining. People complaining about traffic. Traffic is crazy, and it is. On the bumper sticker said, "You don't like traffic? Quit buying shit."
Yeah,
because that's all these trucks are. They're just hauling stuff to and from distribution factories. That's it.
Yeah.
Why? Because the consumer is driving that. Yeah. People like that Amazon.
Yeah.
People like that Amazon right at your doorstep.
Like I'll break it down in media. So none of us like any of these scammers. Oh, you want more ceramic coatings? The ones that call you or text you or hit you in the DMs. We don't like those. But there's some dumb that are paying them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they keep doing it. Oh, they're gonna keep scamming because obviously it's working. If it wasn't working, they're gonna put their resources somewhere else. And then you have then you have other scammers where people, I'm tired of people trying to sell me their 6-figure detailing playbook or whatever the fuck they call. Sorry if there's one name that we're not speaking on anybody specific, but we know they're out there. And
why? Because people
are buying it.
I want to make 6 figures.
Yes. And then they get mad when those guys, they don't understand, like, oh, well, why are the companies reaching out to them and he's plugging all these chemicals and that's all he's using now and that's all in his playbook? Well, because you dumbasses are driving traffic to this guy's channel or whatever, or Instagram. And now the chemical company teamed up with him to say, yo, that's our consumer too. So that's just doing basic one-on-one business. If it's working, let's supply him and let's figure something out. So that's all that's happening, guys. And then you guys wonder why that's all over your shit. It's like, well, because people are feeding into it. The more you feed into this stuff, the more that it's going to just continue to happen.
So what'd you say the answer is then? Well, what are you doing?
I simply stay away. For me, like I don't like the whole political stuff. It gets too exhausting. It's everywhere. So I just don't entertain it at all on my algorithms, on any. That's how I avoid all of it. And there's a little tab on Instagram where you could push, do not show me this ad again. And it'll start to change everything, so you're only seeing the things that you want to see. So I think the more stuff that's fed into that's bad, it's just going to continue to go. So ultimately at the consumer level, you have more power than you think about the shit that you're complaining about, is what I'm trying to say. And then guys like us that are just making a channel, trying to have a good time, trying to inform people what the fuck is going on. Now we start to get it, like, oh, you guys are getting, and if we do get sponsored by anybody, if we do get, that's up to our discretion. We're doing it because, but I'll tell you one thing, we're not compromising who we are. We're not going to compromise what we do. We're not going to compromise what we say. That's what we feel at the time. Does that mean that's how we're always going to feel? No. We may go down the line and realize something completely different and say, you know what? We made a mistake on that. But we're human. That's what humans do, right?
Right.
You make mistakes. Who hasn't said some dumb shit that they regret? Nice to have a stage where you can tell people like what's really going on, and kind of stop blaming the chemical companies, stop blaming the influencers, stop blaming anybody about what you're seeing or what's being flooded in media or thrown in your face or stuff that you're sick of. Then just stop supporting that area.
People say, oh, all that stuff is the same, but then again, their whole garage is filled with 20 million different products. It's like, well, it took you that long to understand that everything's the same?
Yeah. Our country is literally driven by consumption. Why do you think people pay thousands of dollars a year? Some people pay millions of dollars a year for advertising. I'm sure there's businesses paying billions of dollars a year for advertising. Because it's a powerful thing. It gets in front of the consumer. When you're throwing out a proper critique, it's nice to let people know what's going on. And that's when you see the authenticity with people. That's if you come at them correct, they may let you know, oh man, I'm so sorry. The labels on, like PNS, they were getting on PNS because they're bottle caps during COVID, remember?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a bottle. Like, well, you
different
can't
color
get it
or something, right? It was a different color.
People were tripping, getting all crazy. It's like, obviously they don't know. Obviously they know nothing about supply right now, even though it's all over the news. Like, they couldn't put two and two together. Oh shit, there's a shortage of a lot of items right now, and then PNS randomly has different color tops, a mismatch, all crazy. You can't put two and two together.
Nope.
And then, but they're quick to, they like to complain. That's our honest assessment of what's going on in the industry. And I don't see anything. It's growth. It's growth, and I think people just got to get used to it. I don't know if this is going to be the new model that takes its course. To me, what I'm seeing. Remember when DVDs were going out? In the Bluetooth, then there was a Bluetooth, and then there was the high definition DVD. Or Blu-ray. Yeah, sorry. It was Blu-ray. It was Blu-ray, and then there was high definition DVD. Remember? Mm-hmm. And which one took off?
It's the Blu-ray.
Yes, the high definition. But they both came out at the same time. Let's see what technology is gonna beat the other, and this happens in industry all the time. all the time.
Right, just same thing with TVs, like plasma.
Oh, yeah.
LED,
LCD. Like
yeah,
which one is gonna last 10?
Plasma's gone.
Yeah, plasma's gone. DLP, that was another one. That one's gone. So there's business models. There's products. There's things in industry that phase in and out. I think as the industry grows, not just in number of people who have interest in the industry, but I think the more people that are involved in the manufacturing, in the distribution and the retail sales, that side of the industry has to grow too. It hasn't been established the way that a lot of these other industries are. And who talked about this was Shad. He's talked about it a lot. He goes, our industry compared to other industries, the things that we're doing,
it's far more we're way behind.
Yes. And that's the truth. So what's happening is a lot of consumers are seeing it happen. We didn't see it happen to Pepsi and Coke and all of those. That shit was way before our time. But the consumer is seeing it happen. So I think their input, a lot of them think their input is valid when it comes to most of these decisions that are being made. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear you.
And I'm not saying they're not, but I think the consumer thinks that, oh, well, that's not the right way to do this, or it shouldn't go this way, or it's like, some of this nobody knows. So to me, it's exciting. It's exciting to see where people go, how they want to take this, what direction, especially when you see guys coming from more of the social media background, like Pan. Like Pan's a big figure, and I'm sorry, I keep bringing up Pan, but he's like a case study right now. It's like nobody has ever came out with, he did it backwards. Instead of coming with a product to market, he came with the marketing already established. So now he just had to make the product. Is a product gonna last the test of time? So it's the whole business model flipped it on him. So to me, it's fascinating to see where this goes. Not only for the direction of his channel, but for the growth of his business. So it's, to me, for somebody who's into business, this is extremely exciting. It's an exciting time to be involved in this.
Right. And you can't say if he did it right. You can't say if he did it wrong.
Yes, yes, there's other guys that have lines, but nobody did it in a launch like this. Nobody was hyped up this much. There's a lot of guys out there with their own line, and there's guys out there with lines that are bigger than Pan, but ain't nobody talking about those people. Mm-hmm. I will tell you guys, from inside the industry and inside with the social media guys and the YouTube guys, which is cool because we see all of it. Like, we're inside it all. We're detailers. We're we're in with the industry professionals. We're in with the chemical companies. We're also in with the consumer, and we're seeing the whole transition from all different perspectives, which I think some people can't see it from that perspective. It's just like, oh man, so-and-so got a YouTube channel. Why they got to put it? Like, oh man, good for him.
Right.
Good for him. Like, he's one of us too. Good for him. So like, that's how we feel about the entire community. Whether you're working at this level or this level, it's like, yo, we would, let's get it. Let's get it. Whatever we could do to elevate, let's get it. And we're seeing a lot of these guys get to a point where it's like, yo, your business is, you're legit. Like, right. You're holding it down. For instance, BioBombs.
Right.
Like, you're holding it down. You're holding it down. Like, they know they're holding, and we saw that way before. Those are the exciting times when you see shit like that go down and you're like, you know what, man? I know what type of work you went through.
Revive.
Yeah, Revive.
Right.
Revive's another one.
Down. Like,
yeah.
That's fun. That's exciting.
Very. It's fun to be a part of that on the inside of that, where you're seeing your friends do well. And I would say this year, out of all the years, most of the people in general that we mess with on the detailing scene have all done fantastic.
Shout out to all the homies.
Like, fantastic. Like, all of you. But they've all put their work in. So for me to see people criticize over stuff makes it it's almost like, yo, you're talking about some shit you don't know nothing about. You don't know nothing about these people. You don't know nothing about what they started it as. You don't know what type of work they put in. Like,
we was talking about that. Like a lot of people that we mess with have been doing good, but a lot of people we know ain't the same story.
oh yeah,
A lot of folks out there are struggling.
yeah. There is.
A lot of folks out there struggling, and it's not over yet. So that means there's always time.
Yeah. But
we have seen some people go bloop,
Yeah.
just fall off.
And we know where that comes from. That usually comes from the ego, the unwillingness to that's the other side of non-progression. So we were just talking about progression, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a good thing for the industry, for the individual, for everybody. Progression. Now let's talk about the other side. That side. Mm. That's the type of shit that happens when you don't keep learning, when you don't keep hustling, when you don't keep attempting to do more.
When you don't change. People doing the same mistakes over and over, and it's just like wondering why they don't have a different outcome.
Yeah.
It's wild. Go ahead, keep on.
Pour out a little liquor to the ones that to the ones we lost. To the ones we lost. Cold. I'm like, no, but that's the reality, guys. This is a business. I'm sorry if you guys had perceptions of certain brands, certain individuals, certain whoever. Like this is an industry and it's a business. Just like you know what some of you guys are acting like. Some of you guys are acting like, when the football fans, when a player leaves or they don't want to be there anymore. Oh, I thought he was down. Well, you think he really cares? You think he really cares? He's playing in Cincinnati. He'd do anything to get out of that contract. He ain't loyal to nobody.
Oh, I can't believe they moved.
Yeah.
They moved from this game.
Give me a break. This is business. It's business. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's what's happening. People are starting to make money, real money, doing things, making moves. And what happens? The haters come out. That's all I see happening right now in our industry. People are making moves and people are getting mad.
We touched on it, baby. All right,
This one be good.